Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
It's a good day at Good Smiles. Dr. Nurica Good is on the line at her dental practice in Mayodan. Dr. Good, hello. How are you?
Hello. Great. Thank you.
It's always good to. I'm doing well. Always good to have this chat once a month and catch up on some things. So, how are things in your office? Everything good there?
Yes, everything's going very well. The dental world is doing fantastic, I think, relatively speaking.
Okay, very nice. Well, I wanted to talk today, Dr. Good, about, we're bombarded with TV commercials and magazine ads and all of that about toothpastes and mouthwashes and whitening products and those white strips and all of that. Can we talk about that a little bit and maybe separate fact from fiction about how do we know? I know some of us, you kind of get in a habit with your particular brand of toothpaste. Is one really better than another, or different kinds for different issues, perhaps?
Yes. So, well, first of all, I wanted to back up to a word that you just used, which is bombarded.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same way as you do. Oftentimes I think when I go down the dental aisle at any store, Walmart, CVS, wherever, I think, my goodness, what is all of this? And you look up and there's this catchphrase and this says new and improved. And then there's this shiny thing. And then they have so many different price points. I also find it to be overwhelming. And you're right. And that's just in the store, because you're right. Once you're at home and you're watching TV or whatever it is you're doing, you are literally bombarded by somebody else trying to sell you some other dental product. Now, granted, it is the same in every other area, but being a dentist, I pay attention to that a lot, and I think, my goodness, what do you do? And I also think that it's really important to remember, first off, that no matter what you select off the dental aisle, that it is an adjunctive therapy for your regular dental visits. So don't think that if you buy one of everything on the dental aisle, that is going to prevent you from needing to see a dentist. So I want to start there.
Yeah. Never a substitute for seeing your dentist on a regular basis.
Right, right. And so I feel for the regular Joe, because I'm supposed to be educated in this, and I think to myself, what in the world? So let's talk about it a little bit. There are so many products out there that say whitening. I mean, that is a truly American thing. Whiter. But at a certain point, you are sacrificing your dental health by continuing to whiten. And so from my own personal experience, I tried whitening like 20 years ago, and I tried pressed white strips, and true to nature, my teeth became very sensitive. And so for me in particular, when I say very sensitive, I mean just regular tap water. It was like, it sent zingers. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
So I immediately stopped. And I know products have improved in that time. However, I still say, whiteness is not everything. I would rather somebody, let's say your teeth are a different shade, but they're healthy. I will take healthy teeth of a different shade over the whitest teeth ever. Because in this whitening, what you're actually doing, so some of these products are actually harmful to your teeth, and you'll have to read, because there are so many products out there and they claim to do it in different ways, and this is better than that, and whatever, everybody needs to be an informed consumer about what you're putting into your mouth. But I will say that some of those whitening products, they whiten by abrasion. So that means they are scraping some of your enamel so that you can achieve that pearly white look that you're looking for. Well, whatever enamel you have, that's all you're ever going to get. So everybody needs to protect your enamel, because that's what protects your teeth and your dental longevity. So I would say for people who are interested in whitening, whitening is okay, but do it in moderation. So every time you buy toothpaste, don't always buy a whitening toothpaste. Instead, maybe alternate each tube. So one time you get a whitening toothpaste, the next time you get a regular toothpaste. And I also want to say that when I go to the dental aisle at the different price points, remember, for everything, if you look down, then you're going to see your basic toothpaste. And that's it's going to do the job. If you also compare active ingredients, then you'll notice that most of the major brands have the same active ingredients. Mm-hmm. I would also say, although there are holistic dentists, I am a fan of fluoride, and I do believe it is one of the greatest public health interventions, along with hand washing, because it has decreased the number of decayed, missing, filled teeth over decades, and that has been proven time and time again. So when you are purchasing your toothpaste, look for one that is basically the major name brands, Crest, Colgate. They do have fluoride in them. You would have to, there are toothpaste on the dental aisle that don't have fluoride in them. However, I personally am a fan. I do feel like it has helped people, and the research has shown that fluoride does help people. So stick with your major brands. It's when you start getting into the fancy territory, when you just got to be different, then that's sometimes where you're out here on a limb and you don't even know what is really happening until it's too late. So I would say stick with that.
Okay. Well, I remember TV commercials from years ago. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend, so, you kind of get caught up in a professional recommending something with a TV ad and things like that. But I'm like you. There were just some basic toothpaste brands, but now it's everything. It's confusing.
Yeah. It is. And also you mentioned something else, and that is, it is confusing. It is confusing. And I think, actually, we've kind of covered the whitening aspect, so sorry about that.
Okay, no, that's good. I had a roommate in college who just drank Listerine almost. He would rinse, and then he'd swallow it, and I thought, I don't think that's probably a good idea, but what about mouthwashes? Is that something that we should, talk a little bit about here today too?
Yes. So same thing with mouthwashes. Be careful on what you're getting. Read up on your active ingredients. Make sure that it is something that is really doing something for you. So, like for example, the Listerine Complete, I think it's got fluoride in it. It's got some other properties that are very beneficial. However, Listerine and some of the other major brands are competing with lesser-known brands that maybe only tout, say, whitening, for example, or really are only for fresher breath. And so you just have to read and be an informed consumer on what you're purchasing. But again, if you stick with your major brands that, have the properties that you need. So when I say the properties that you need, so for example, if you're cavity prone, or even if you're not, but you like, well, I got to do whatever I can do to not get cavities, then make sure you're reading up for the one that has fluoride. If you are someone who maybe has some periodontal problems, perhaps there's one that is better for someone who has periodontal issues. So I think it's a good adjunctive measure. However, again, I think talk to your dental professional, whether it be your hygienist or your dentist, and they can help you to figure out what would be the best option. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry, I had skipped over one other item on the dental aisle that I did want to talk about as well when you brought it up, and that is the opposite end of the spectrum, which is people who have sensitive teeth. Mm-hmm. If you have sensitive teeth, then, yes, there are plenty of sensitivity toothpaste, and again, stick with your major brands. Also, Sensodyne is an excellent sensitive toothpaste, but again, don't let that be your resolution to your sensitivity, because it may be something underlying that could be helped by a dental professional. So, but still, those products are out there and they work fantastic. But I would say again, adjunctive to your dental visit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. You said two key words a moment ago. Be an informed consumer. And I do see people standing in the dental aisle at the supermarket, and they're looking at the products and comparing and things like that. So being an informed consumer is always important, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. In everything.
Yeah.
In everything. There's so many things that are trying to get your attention now, and you really have to be your own best advocate. You really have to be on your P's and Q's, because for everyone there is something. It's like constant overload of information, not only about dental stuff but about everything else. So, before you jump out there and start doing something, then be an informed consumer.
Yes. Okay. We won't even talk about cereals today, because there used to be just a basic couple of things of cereal. I'm amazed when I go to the supermarket and see all of the brands. How did all of this happen? Let's talk about brushing our teeth. And most of us, brush. I brush in the morning. I brush at night. Is that enough?
Yes, it is. For most people, is brushing in the morning and brushing at night. The other thing that I would recommend is flossing, which we talked about previously. It is enough for most people. However, if you are cavity prone or if you are prone to dry mouth, then you may need to do more to keep your teeth clean, because you don't want any of those acids or sugars to rest on your teeth. So for most people, yes. For some, a little more will go a long way.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking also about something I heard on TV the other day. We just got a couple of minutes here, but these are stressful times we live in, and dentists, I heard the story, are seeing an increase in patients that are grinding their teeth. A lot of people are prone to that anyway, but maybe they've picked it up a little bit more now. Yes,
and lately we've seen more people who are grinding their teeth. These are stressful times, and stress shows up in different ways, but it also shows up on your teeth. And we've also seen more people come in lately with cracked teeth, and that has to do with grinding too. It's just they're stressed. And so if you find that you are a serious grinder, then perhaps talk to your dental professional about having a professional grade night guard made. I have one. I've had one for 8 years. But if you are someone who maybe you're a little less of a heavy grinder, then perhaps an over-the-counter night guard would work for you. And it does. It's one of those things that you have to. It's one of those things. If you get a night guard, you need to stick with it, but you have to be committed to it. You have to be married to it, because, or else, for anyone, if you can't see the immediate results, then a lot of times people give up on things like that. But know that it's a long game. So that's why I've been wearing my night guard, that I use to help with because I clench at night. Apparently, I think I've been doing it for a lifetime.
Yeah. Some people are like that. Well, before we finish up, tell us about your practice a little bit in our maybe a minute and a half here, Dr. Good, and where you're located and all of that, please.
Okay, so general dentistry practice, and we treat pretty much anyone, with the exception of I try to send children who are 4 or less to a pediatric dentist, just because I feel like I want people to always have the best start in dentistry, because we have some patients who are 95 who they still tell about their dental experience as a young child. So our general dental practice, we're a family dental practice located in Mayodan, 603 South Ayersville Road, and our phone number is 336-427-8544, and we are here 8 to 5. We unlike every other dentist, we're not off every Friday. We alternate between being off on Wednesday, and then the next week we'll be off on the Friday. So if anyone is interested, we are accepting new patients, and we would love to have you join our dental family.
Dr. Good, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and you have such a good team there, and so many that have been in that office staff for so long. Thank you for this time together. I certainly do appreciate it, as always.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate the time to share with your audience. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk again next month. Have a good week.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye. Dr. Nurica Good, her office, as she just mentioned, let me repeat that, though, is at 603 South Ayersville Road in Mayodan. Good Smiles. And here's the phone number, 336-427-8544. Please visit her Facebook page, Good Smiles.